I want a prenup, she said, cutting into her steak like she was slicing through my chest. We keep everything separate. Money, property, everything. The restaurant's background hum seemed to fade. The sound of laughter from a nearby table, the clinking of glasses, it all went silent. All I could hear was the steady mechanical beat of my heart. I forced a smile, even though it felt like my face might crack from the strain. A prenup, I repeated like an idiot who hadn't understood plain English. Sophie didn't flinch. Her tone was calm, even practiced. Yes. I just think it's smart. You know, just in case. Just in case. We'd been engaged for 3 months. Together for 6 years. I'd spent those years believing we were building something sacred, something real. The just in case felt like a premonition. But I nodded. Because that's what love had turned me into. A man too afraid to challenge the person who could shatter him. Sure, I said. Whatever makes you comfortable. Her lips curved into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She reached across the table, brushing my hand. I knew you'd understand. I wanted to believe that moment was about trust. But it wasn't. It was about control. And I didn't see it then, but it was the first red flag waving right in my face. The weeks that followed were off. She was distracted, always on her phone, smiling at messages she never shared. When I asked, she said it was wedding stuff. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. Until one night, when I walked past her laptop left open on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping, at least not at first. But an email caught my eye. Subject: Re-property agreement draft. From Evan M. Her lawyer, I thought. Until I saw the preview line. If he signs this, we'll both get what we want. Both. My hands went cold. I clicked. The thread went back weeks. Evan wasn't her lawyer. He was her ex. The one she'd sworn was just a friend. The messages were casual at first, playful. Then flirty. Then explicit. And then strategic. They talked about real estate, bank accounts, and investments I didn't even know she had. She mentioned the prenup. How she wanted to secure herself before the marriage. How she needed to make sure she didn't lose half if things fell apart. And Evan had replied, "You won't. Once it's signed, we'll figure out how to make this work for us." For us. I remember standing there, my hands trembling over the keyboard, reading words that made my stomach twist. The person I was going to marry had not only stopped loving me, she'd planned an escape route before the vows were even spoken. I didn't say anything that night. I just sat in the dark staring at her when she came home. She smiled at me, kissed my cheek, and poured herself a glass of wine like nothing was wrong. And maybe to her nothing was. A week later, we were sitting with her lawyer reviewing the prenup. She was radiant, confident. I was a hollow shell wearing a suit. He explained the clauses. Separate property. No alimony. No claims to personal assets. I nodded through every line, pretending not to notice how she kept avoiding my eyes. When it came time to sign, she slid the papers across the table, her expression unreadable. "Ready?" she asked. I smiled. "Yeah. Ready." I signed my name. Slowly. Carefully. And then I handed her the pen. She signed too, oblivious to the fact that I had already been to my own lawyer. I'd had him review her draft, and then quietly file my own. The prenup was legal, but it didn't say what she thought it did. Protected me. Not her. 2 months later, I walked into our apartment with a box. Her box. She was on the couch texting. Probably him. "Jake? What's that?" "Your things," I said. "You're moving out." Her face froze. "What are you talking about?" I tossed the printed emails onto the coffee table. "You and Evan. The prenup. The planning. I know everything." Her face went pale. "Jake, it's not what it looks like." "Stop," I said quietly. "I used to think love meant forgiveness. But now I know it means honesty. And you haven't given me that in a long time." She started crying then, reaching for me, but I stepped back. "You wanted everything separate," I said softly. "So now you have it." I left her sitting there, crying into her hands, the ring still on her finger. Outside, the evening air was cold, biting. But for the first time in months I could breathe. Love hadn't failed me. Trust had. And sometimes losing someone isn't the tragedy. It's the mercy you didn't know you needed.